Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor and privilege to introduce the man that created this event, the man who wrote the great book, Grassroots, the man who is the head of the Common Sense Club, the chairman, the man who is on the radio 5 days a week on several stations in the upper Midwest, the most unique, my favorite Tea Party event, Master of Ceremonies. I've spoken at, I guess, 20 now, and he and I have been crossing paths for many years. This man who asked Rick Santorum to come here, and he said, you know what? He said yes. So now, he said, maybe you could help me with doing some guest hosting for your radio show. So if you heard some radio the past couple of days, it was me on there, if it wasn't Scott. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to give a warm Tioga, North Dakota welcome to the guy that made this happen and the man who will introduce the fabulous Senator Rick Santorum. I give you the great, the delightful Scott Hennen.
God bless Tioga, North Dakota, ladies and gentlemen. Do you realize we made history today? We made history today. Somebody from the paper told me, I was doing an interview the other day, they said, we researched it. We can't find anywhere in the records, as far back as we can go, ever a time when a presidential candidate came to Tioga, North Dakota. How cool is that? How cool is that? I'll tell you something else that's pretty cool. It's a tough time right now. For everybody in this gym, for everybody in this school. And there have been a lot of places in America that have said, sorry, no time for politics. We're hurting. We're hurting a little. How could you not be? How could you not be? So I've lost the precious life of a sophomore. I was walking these hallways yesterday. Leaves here, and that precious life is gone. And two others are battling for their life. I get that, and I'm glad the pastor was here to remind us how precious life is and how to cherish it. But by golly, tough as it is, hard as it is, not knowing how we could ever understand it all, we're not supposed to, you know. We're not supposed to understand. It doesn't make any sense. We just keep plodding through. And that's what you guys did. Get it done. It's a North Dakota way. We just get it done. And as tough as it was to be here today for these teachers, for those families, you're here. That's awesome. I think of Sherry Arnold and her family, Sydney, Montana. My gosh. Two guys get in the car from Colorado, they show up, and for whatever reason, here's a mom that jogs all the time, out there jogging. Sydney, Montana, you can jog and not worry about a thing, right? We don't know where she is. Two guys in a jail cell do. I'm hoping we can fly Pope Benedict in here to have a conversation with him about the next life and tell us where she is, for crying out loud. You know? It's tough. So you're a tough, hardy people, we get it done. But you know, tough as it is, there's a lot of opportunity here. Presidential candidate, ladies and gentlemen, is in Tioga, North Dakota, because of what happens every day in Tioga and Stanley and Ray and Ross and Williston and Minot and every corner of North Dakota. Never apologize for that, okay? Never apologize for coming from real America. That's where you live. And that's what I love about this guy you're going to hear from today. Sitting next to me on a radio show down in South Carolina in the middle of a game changer, right? He'd won Iowa, nobody knew. What a ripoff that was. Newt surges. Newt says, hey, why don't you get off the stage so I can beat this Romney guy? Why don't you go away? These guys at the debates had to go, hey, what about me? Down there in the end of one of these podiums that they put as far off on the end of the stage as they go, what about me? And before your eyes, ladies and gentlemen, the game is changing in this race. What's going to happen? He knows. We have no idea. It's in his hands, without question. This guy doesn't know. And I saw him in New Hampshire. Had a chance to bump into him. I hadn't seen him. He's been on my show for a lot of years, over the years on the radio that's on KTGO in Tioga, North Dakota, and I'm proud of it, by the way. And I was nudging him, and I've asked all the candidates. I've invited President Obama, you ought to be here, buddy. You ought to be here and see what the Keystone XL pipeline can do to take 500 trucks a day off the oil roads so we don't have to go through this. Rush Limbaugh calls them the drive-bys. The national media, every one of them is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. To march in that Oval Office today and say, one signature, 40% reduction in oil, 40% reduction in oil, 100,000 jobs, 20,000 direct, a few 100,000 the other way, direct. What does America need? The rest of America, jobs, and 500 trucks a day off the road. One signature changes lives. And I want him to come. I want the other candidates to come. See the North Dakota miracle. See it at work. And this guy, not him, but his campaign said, we just want to see real people. We want to be there. He told me in South Carolina it's a long way from Florida. But we'll get there. And he did. So please welcome him, a great man, Senator Rick Santorum in Tioga, North Dakota.